Welcome to this published author's interview. My name is Kenneth Muyingo, and with me I have a special guest that I'm going to be interviewing. First, I just want to mention if you watch this interview and you would like to write a book yourself, to become an author and write your first book, there's a link with the interview for you to join the group, become an author, and write your first book to connect with like minded people who are doing the same. With that said, I would like to ask my guest to say hello to our viewers and listeners and to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Leila Ziari. I am a poet. I lived in California and I published my first collection of poetry in early 2020 called Love Poems to a Poet. And I honestly began writing poetry in 2019 and just kind of wrote this book immediately after. Yeah, I've always been
Love,
super creative, but Love Poems to a Poet was born last year, and as was my writing and poetry career.
amazing. So the title of the book is Love Poems to a Poet.
Love Poems to a Poet, and the undertitle is 111 Poems of Eternal Love, Passion, and Desire.
Wow. I hope we get to hear one of these beautiful poems tonight.
Oh, sure, I'd love to read one.
Amazing. So tell us about Lila. If somebody's watching this interview and they would like to know more about you, what would you tell them? Yes.
Well, let's see. I'm a little multi-dimensional being, a very creative soul. I've always been super creative, but like I said, writing is new. I mean, it's not new. I used to write as a child, but it's a newfound piece of my soul. So I've always been very creative. I spent about 7 years traveling all around the country and the world, kind of just experiencing and living. And yeah, now I'm here in California in the Bay Area, and I'm just doing a lot of writing. I paint, I sing, um,
Oh,
I do Reiki healing. So I mean, I just do a lot of creative
amazing.
aspects, and I try to be inspired by every part of this beautiful life we live.
Wow. Quite an extensive profile. Thank you so much for sharing. You are living life fully, if I could just say it in the simplest of terms.
Yes, I'm
Wow.
well living my best life, and it gets better every day, and the best is yet to come.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you so much for making time out of your busy schedule for this interview. So tell us about your book, Love Poems to a Poet.
So,
What's the vision that you had for this book?
well, that's the funny part because the vision is I was at yoga teacher training. I was actually like on this path to like be a yoga teacher and do like spiritual retreats and stuff. And while I was in Costa Rica, I was like, I'm gonna write a book this year. And this was in early 2019. I was like, I'm gonna write a book this year. This is it. This is what I'm gonna do. But at the time, I wasn't writing poetry. I hadn't really actually written anything.
Uh,
So, here I come back to California, and yeah, I just, it was a vision. So I had the vision to write a book, but honestly, I didn't write poetry. I had no idea what was going to come of this decision to write a book. So it was kind of cosmically presented to me. It was just, I've been on this path of like learning about myself and just kind of trusting in what the universe throws my way.
indeed.
And so that discovery of like myself and this writing brought me to encounter a soul that I felt was like a mirror image of my soul, which just awakened a deeper presence of love within me. And I mean, I've always been a being of love, but it just awakened it to a new level, and I had all these feelings flooding in, and I was like, I can't actually tell this person because I don't know them. So what do I do? Like, this is driving me insane. I got to get this out. So I was reading the love letters of Dylan Thomas, and I was like, oh, I should write love letters. But love letters involved into poetry, and then bam, I started writing poetry. So this book was like a vision from the cosmos of just like inspired purely by the boundless love that exists within us. I mean, we are beings of unconditional love at
Most
the core of
definitely.
us. So I mean, it's the love that you see within others, within the ocean, within the stars, but it really all comes from within. So that's what the book's about. And it's
Wow.
fun.
This is amazing, and I can feel your energy. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Um, so at one point you said that you were doing the yoga training, and then you just had this feeling, I'm going to write a book this year. I'm going to write a book this year.
Yeah.
Tell
It
tell
just
tell
had
us
to be done.
what inspired you. I mean, what happened there?
Honestly, I don't really like, a lot of things in my life just come to me, and I like I said, I just feel like I just trust in the flow so much, and I'm very open to receiving whatever information comes. So I'm very
Yeah,
creative, and I always knew that creativity was meant to be a huge part of my life. And
yeah,
I mean, I'd been ignoring a lot of the callings for years. Like, I love
yeah,
singing, but I had been ignoring the call to sing, and I'd been just kind of neglecting the creative side that was
yeah.
like trying to get in touch with me. But then finally at yoga school, I guess I stopped resisting the creativity within me,
And you
and
let
I
it come to you.
control it, because I've always been kind of like trying to control everything. So it was just
Wow.
kind of like, I was open, I was receptive, and I was guided to write a book. And I mean, it had been people had been planting seeds in my head. Like, my
Yeah,
mother would always call me, and she's like, your life is so interesting, and the way you speak and articulate is fascinating, and you need to start writing. So it was like planted in my brain
yeah.
throughout, but I wasn't ready to hear it till I was ready to hear it. So
Amazing. And while you were saying that, I remembered somebody told me something on an interview. Let go and let life.
yes, yes,
And I think it like that's just what comes to my mind, that previously you were like neglecting this creative side of you, and then you just got to a point and you're like, this has got to be coming out. This is me.
right, exactly. And I feel like it all goes with like the healing experience and nurturing the inner child, because as
Yeah,
a child I used to write books,
yeah,
and like up until my teenage years I was writing books and painting all the time. But then,
yeah,
as an adult, I was just like, I'm just going to experience life, but I just can't put any energy into like any one project right now because I'm just not there.
yeah.
So it was like something I've always done and been a part of me, but it wasn't ready to express itself till I was ready to allow
Oh,
it and surrender. I mean, life is all about surrendering, honestly. So
and then and eventually, when you surrendered to the idea to write the book, what inspired you to say it's got to be love poems to a poem? Was it the love letters that you read? And
it was like I said, I encountered a soul that I just felt like this overwhelming need to express my love to and for, and it awakened a deeper sense of love within me. And that deeper sense of love consumed every aspect of my being. And I was just like, it was just a love for myself, love for like the love that I've always felt just expanded into everything in a way that was so uncontrolled and just so inspiring that there was nothing I could do but write about it. It was just it I would have it would have drove me absolutely insane just to not express that in some way, and I knew I had to express it in some way, so it just came in poems. But yeah, the poems came after
wow,
reading the love letters. I was just like, oh, okay, so I guess I'll just write these love letters and I'll just hold on to them for eternity, and I'll just express this love and get it off my chest. But it turned into something bigger than that. So
amazing! Wow, I would really love to hear one of the poems from the love poems to a poet.
right now,
When you're ready, it's
okay. All right, that's a lot of them.
wow, this is amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna read you one of my favorite ones.
All right.
This is called Rivers of Passion. Rivers of passion leave us entwined into each other and out of our minds. All's fair in this game of heart overhead. My brain is no use here. Let's drown in our madness instead. Following the cosmic mobility, pouring into a roaring stream, exploring the ripples of all that could be. No use skimming a surface, dipping a toe in. I'm diving in headfirst, where your currents seep deep into my skin. Exploring sacred waters below the gritted sand, never to find my way back to dry land. Eager to discover the wonders, the deep riddles inside of you, and the life you hold beneath your river so blue. Waterfalls of love crash over me, pull me under for eternity. The immensity of this connection has swallowed me whole. You are the lone soul I cannot resist. Let us twirl in eternal bliss. Maybe I've gone mad, it's true, but that's what love will make you do. These rivers of love flow through me endlessly, massaging the delicate fibers of my soul and body. And that is Rivers of Passion.
Wow. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
I forgot my mouth was open and it's just
That makes me happy.
I gotta get this. It's
Love Comes to a Poet. It's on Amazon. It's available on my website, leilaziari.com.
wow.
It's very cosmic book. It's very about eternal love, but like it also dissects the feelings that we feel as human beings. And though I feel like I'm totally disconnected from reality 90% of the time, and I totally live in the ethers, and I realize that sometimes I have to take myself back to earth, but even so, this book touches all the sides. So even if you're not living in the ethers, there's something for you in here.
Wow. That's quite amazing. It's and if somebody is watching this and they feel they're out of touch with their love vibration, what would you share with them, knowing what you know?
Yeah, that's a hard one because a lot of us, that's a hard thing to go through because like a lot of us are out of touch with the love vibration based on the world we live in. We teach love wrong. And so I feel I would just tell them to go within yourself, like be compassionate to yourself. If you're struggling with love within, like nurture yourself the way you would nurture that person you feel like you love more than anything. Like give that love that you are extending outwardly, inwardly, and just give yourself the nourishment and compassion because we lack compassion for ourselves. Like we have so much compassion for other things, but we so as human beings typically lack compassion for ourselves. And even I still struggle with that. I have to tell myself all the time because I will be like, Leila, get more stuff done. But it's like your body needs a rest. Stop just beating yourself up. Like, and I still have to tell myself that all the time, and it's just I would never push other people the way I do myself. So it's just about having compassion for yourself and trusting in what you need and like going within because it's all about going within. And if you're looking for solutions outwardly, you're just never going to get there. So, there's a lot of great things outwardly and there's a lot of love in other people, but you can't have that if you don't have that stability within and that love within. So, and just go within and trust and breathe and like listen and just be compassionate, nurture yourself, be nourishing, like be truthful with yourself and your needs. That's like the best advice I can give in life, really.
Wow. Thank you so much. You are speaking to my heart right now. Thank you so much, Leila. And do you consider yourself as a naturally talented writer, or would you say that writing is a skill that you've developed over time?
It definitely is not like I feel like it's just ingrained in my soul. Like I've just always been creative. I feel like, and this book just flowed out of me. And of course, as I continue writing, because I'm writing still like all the time, almost every day. So as I grow, of course, my writing gets better. Of course, even since I published this book, I've found so much progress in my rhyme schemes and the way I use words. But it's a natural thing. It did totally come naturally to me. Like I said, when it was ready to come, it just didn't stop. I wrote Love Poems to a Poet in 5 months.
Wow.
So I mean, like,
5 months.
yeah, 111 poems I'd never written before, and there was like extra after, and I just kept writing. So I mean, it definitely flows for me naturally. It's definitely something I can tap into, but of course, you do learn from reading other people and experience and writing and get better throughout that process, of course.
Indeed. Wow. Wow. It's it's amazing. And so you mentioned earlier that you fell in love with a soul that you felt you needed to express your feelings to. And this was part of what got you on the journey that now gave the world love poems to a poet. I'm curious, is this the what you would point to and say this is it, or what is the one thing that you would tell me that has happened to you personally that has had the greatest impact on you writing books?
I don't think it could be compiled into one thing because, like, surely that one thing was the spark that, like, tied it in, but it wasn't just that thing because without the rest of my life experience or like everything leading up to that point, because I mean, though I don't live in the past, I don't talk about the past. I don't really like exist there as a thing. At the end of the day, the experiences, even though you don't live there and we can let it go and live in the present, but the experiences you go through in life bring you to the culmination point of everything. So surely that spark, that love, I mean, love, I can base every single thing in my life based on love and say love is the be all and end all of why I do
Yeah,
anything. But
yeah,
and surely that human being like awakened my deeper soul purpose. Yes, they did. But without everything I had done leading up to that point, I would have never found that. And without me being open to that information and without me loving myself, because if I never learned the art of self love, I would never even be here right now. I'd be, I don't know what I'd be doing, but it wouldn't be good, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah,
sure, love comes to a poet was birthed like from that particular thing, but without the whole prior journey and my own personal growth, it would have never happened. So
yeah. And I I can relate with you totally with what you're saying as far as self-love is concerned, because sometimes we are so much, it's quicker for us to want to give love to others than to actually love ourselves. And I think we cannot love anybody else more than we love ourselves. So it all starts from within.
yeah, and that's like, and that's so true because I mean, you can extend that outwardly, but if you can't give and not be open to receive. You have to,
Yeah,
if you're going to give it, you have to receive it. But that's so much ingrained to us as a society to just give and give your all. And like,
yeah,
because I mean, look at like our parents and our teachers and these people who never learned self-love. So like we're surrounded by a bunch of people who don't even understand that concept, but
yeah,
it's the fundamental building block of life. And like,
yeah,
I think that's like the more I realize, like it's funny because the more I grow and I read my book, I realize that like the exact same way I feel for this person is the words I say to myself. I sat down and wrote myself a love letter the other day, and I was like, I could send this to this person and I feel
yeah.
the exact same way towards them and towards like all these things that I feel for myself. And it's like it could, so I mean, like sure they were like a muse for this book, but like in turn, everything I said in that book to this person, I could say to myself and mean it as well. So it's like a
Wow,
pure reflection. Like when you truly love unconditionally, it's because you love yourself. You cannot love unconditionally without that self love, though. I do not think.
wow, wow, wow. And so you have published love poems to a poet. Are you currently working on any other
I
projects?
am. I am working on something pretty insane right now. All right, so I honestly thought it would be done by now. I thought I'd be like, yeah, fine, done. Okay. So it's called Complete and Utter Madness. I had this idea while writing love poems to a poet. I was like, my next book's going to be called Complete and Utter Madness, and I'm going to dissect the entire system of reality, right? Which is exactly what I'm doing it. But it turns out I realized I'm a philosopher the other day. And so like I'm just philosophizing existence. So the book is called Complete and Other Madness, Poetic Philosophies of Existence. But it's
Wow.
turning into such a project. Like I just expected to slap some poems in the book. Like, this is how I feel about this. No, 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 no. This is turning out to be complete and utter madness. Like this book has a mind of its own. I'm not in control. Like, Love Poems to a Poet, I
Uh,
feel like I had a little more control over.
uh-huh.
This one has consumed me, and it's just like, we write this, you're just a vessel, like get out of
Yeah.
the way and just let it
Wow.
happen. So
Wow.
it's dissecting literally every facet of the human existence and how people feel and the human psyche and why things are the way they are based on my opinions, which could totally be wrong, but I mean, it's not really my opinions, it's like universal wisdom I'm tapping into. So we're going to dissect all the topics that I don't even like to talk about and like people that make people angry, and we're going to dissect them from a higher perspective and let you know why none of them really matter at the end of the day.
Wow. 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 Complete and utter madness.
So, I mean, I would like to say that it'd be published in 2020, but I would say probably next year. But at the end of the day, it's going to be done when it's done because that thing is writing itself.
I'm keeping in touch with you. I want to know when this is ready, and I want to get me a copy of it as well. Wow.
Yes, I'm very excited to see this one because I mean, I will sit down and I have no idea what's going to come out. Because the other one was based one topic, love,
Yeah.
self-love. It was a lot
Yeah.
easier. This is like every topic under the sun. So I sit down, I have no idea what's going to come out when I sit down to write it. And then like a 10-page poem will come out. Like this is not a normal book. I'm just like, what is happening here? Like all these poems are extravagantly long. They're
Yeah.
extravagantly insane. I don't know. It's going to be fun.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Somebody, you reminded me of something. I was having an interview with somebody else, and he said he was privileged to have been the first person to read his book. That he like he wrote every word out, but he received the book in the sense like it was like downloaded to him, and it was just like delivering what he was receiving. And this is the kind of stuff that just pushes the human race forward. Keep going.
Yes. We gotta keep going. That's all we can do, right?
Wow, most definitely. And this was really inspiring and very just full of energy. I'm just fired up. I'm just my
I
cup.
honestly am too. I didn't even sleep last night because I'm babysitting a little puppy and it kept
Oh,
me up barking all night. But right now, after this, I honestly feel so recharged and re-energized.
wow,
I'm ready to be a puppy mom for another day.
wow, amazing. What's the name of the puppy?
Vuitton.
Vutan. Wow,
Yeah, I watch dogs at my house sometimes, so yeah.
wow, amazing.
Oh
Wow,
baby.
exciting indeed. And if somebody's watching this interview, Lila, and they would like to buy the book, Love Poems to a Poet, like me, because I'm going to order my copy tonight.
Yay! I hope you love it.
Where can we buy the book?
The book is published on Amazon.com, so you can
Yes.
look it up there. But I do have a website, and it's leilaziari.com, myname.com, and it has the links to my book there, so you can find out more about me. It's really the one-stop shop. There's a link to buy my book there, and it will take you right to Amazon through my website. I make art, so there's art prints for sale. I will connect you to my YouTube channel where you can hear me sing and read poetry. It'll connect you to my Instagram and Facebook pages. So really, leilaziari.com is the place to be. But
Wow.
my book is sold on Amazon. So
Very nice. We will put the links with the interview so that other people will also be able to buy the book. And also, if somebody wants to contact you, it's all through the website. We'll put the link to the
you
website
can
as
get
well.
my email address there, my contact information, all my social media accounts and everything is all there.
Awesome. Wow, this was very inspiring. I think I've said that a couple
It
of
makes
times
me happy. I
already.
feel good about that though. I mean,
Yeah,
like that's what I live for. So
yeah, it's great. I mean, it's is there anything else that you would like to address that I have not been able to ask in the interview?
we talked about just keep loving yourself and trusting in the feelings that you have within. Never give up on your passions. Keep living your dreams, no matter how insane people may tell you they are. Nothing's insane and nothing's impossible, and you can literally do have or be anything you want to be. So do that.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Leila. This was wonderful. And I'm sure going to be keeping in touch with you.
Yes, absolutely.